Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS-Inform as we continue to meet candidates running for office for this year's general election coming up on November 8th. But remember, voting does run early, so you can do some early voting as well. Joining us in the studio is Greg Kendall. Greg is running for the office of Dubois County Council at Large. Greg, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Let's start off by giving you the opportunity to tell folks about who Greg Kendall is.
Well, my mother and father were Russ Kendall from Huntingburg, and I grew up in Huntingburg, and I had three sisters and a brother, Patty Sager, who lives here in Jasper. She was a teacher at Forest Park High School, or middle school and grade school, her whole career. And then Becky, she lives in Elizabethtown, Kentucky. And Mary, she passed away when she was 30 from a rare lung disease. She was married to Bob Seifert here in town. And then a younger brother who is a band director and teacher at Tecumseh High School. People probably know him more for his singing the Back Home Again in Indiana at all the ball games. And that's my younger brother. And I'm engaged to Judy Brosmer. I lost my wife 13 years ago. And since then, I'm engaged to Judy Brosmer, and I have two sons, Kyle, who is a graphic designer and manager of Table X here in Jasper, and he's also the varsity soccer coach here in Jasper, and a younger son, Kirk, who is salesman and commercial salesman for Scheller's fitness and bicycling out of Evansville. And Judy has, Kyle has his wife, Renee, works at the hospital, and they have a daughter, Tegan. And Judy has a son, Jared, who has Brosmer Chiropractic, and his wife, Alyssa, and he have four children, Bryn, Braxton, Sutton, and Kellen. And we have a ball with the kids, you know. But anyway, I've been a barber for 45 years. And in those 45 years, everybody's had, as far as I would be concerned, a great place to come and voice their opinions. And I'm open and to all suggestions and opinions. And it's a great place for them to air their problems to me so that I know and I can relay those to the proper places. And of course, being a barber, I started back in 1971. So being a barber, starting out when the Beatle craze was in and all the long hair, I've learned to pinch that buffalo nickel till it, comes up with a dime somewhere along the line. And I think that's one thing that has put me in a position to where hopefully it makes me a good county councilman, to where I can watch the money and be very strict about how it's paid. Because I learned right off that if I didn't do that as a barber, when nobody got haircuts, and there was 15 barbers in town, I would have never survived. So that's why I've always said that if I wouldn't spend my money, I'm not going to spend your tax dollars either.
Now, you are a current councilman, and you are decided to run for re-election. What possessed you to do that?
Well, I've been a councilman now for 32 years, and I'm pretty proud of that. I was really considering giving it up because I'm 66 years old, and maybe it's time for me to step aside and maybe retire. But I still feel that I'm young enough and I'm energetic enough to do a whole lot of things. And everybody tells me I'm a young 66, and that makes me feel good. But I really considered giving it up, but then Wyatt Stainer with the Herald did an article about what I was going to do. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was on the fence. I didn't know whether I wanted to run or whether I didn't. And Wyatt interviewed me, and we did this deal. And all of a sudden, I started getting phone calls and I got multiple phone calls, and the party wanted me to stay, didn't want me to quit, and everybody just kind of convinced me to keep after it. So I love doing it. I love being a councilman. I'm a 12-year president of the council, and I'm very proud of that. So when the people who are there on the council with you elect you for 12 years as president, it makes you feel like hopefully you're doing things right.
Now, you know, I'm sure there's some things that you are very proud of that you've done in the past. So what are some accomplishments you felt on the council?
I think one of the biggest accomplishments that I'm proud of is maybe not. There's so many things that have happened through the years that I've been there. The jail, the South Side bypass, the connector road that I was involved in, the 911 situation. I was the go-between between the 911 committee and the commissioners, so that we got the 911 and enhanced 911, and that was all done. So I kind of I've not been afraid to put my neck out when it needed to be put out there, and those are the kind of things that I'm proud of. And I'm really proud of the way the council over the last 12 years since I've been president has changed in a way that where I'm more of a laid-back guy. I like to have people come in and be happy that they're there. I want them to be comfortable when they come there. I want them to enjoy. You know, I try to throw in a little humor here and there and keep people comfortable. And I don't want them to be afraid to come in there and talk to us. I want them to come in and say, "Hi, Greg, how you doing?" You know, I don't want them to come in there shaking in their boots, you know, because they're afraid or anything. Because we're only councilmen and we're only people. Yep. And that's what I'm proud of, because I think I have interjected something into the council as president to where every issue has been where I go to each councilman. I'm president, but I'm no more a councilman than anyone else. We are all 7 equal. And I go to each councilman on every issue and say, "What do you think? You know, do you think this or do you think that, or what do you feel?" And that's something that I'm proud of. And I think if anybody has been a councilman before and now and are now, they realize what a difference it is now in comparison to what it used to be. People came in, they were pretty nervous a lot of times, and now they're, you know, a lot more laid back.
Well, we've talked about the past. What about the future? What's coming up for the council, and are things that you'd like to be able to keep going, or things that you'd like to address?
One thing that really does interest me is the fact that, like, Jerry and I were there when we built the jail, the new jail, and now we're in a thing with the state and with the sheriff to where we're going to have to do some things again with the jail. So to me, it would be very beneficial for me to be there because of the experience that I have with the past jail. And Jerry, like I say, Hunefeld, terrific guy, and he and I, you know, he's a Republican and I'm a Democrat, so I really don't, have never considered, we're all councilmen. And Republican and Democrat really doesn't make a difference to me, because after we're elected, we are all councilmen who represent everyone in the county. And I want to be friends with everybody on the council, and I want to be friends with all the taxpayers. I really have a problem when somebody doesn't like me just because I'm a Democrat or just because he's a Republican. I don't understand that. Well, I don't like you because of that. Well, I don't understand that at all, because we represent everyone, and that word Democrat or Republican is not in front of your name when you come into my council meeting. And there's no right side or a left side of the aisle. We're all councilmen and we all work together to get the job done. Now,
there's 6 candidates running for county council,
right,
which is unusual.
Right.
That's a lot. Well, I don't know, when's the last time that happened?
This is the 9th time I've run, and this is the first time the Republicans ever had 3 candidates running. and they're all good people. I would never ever, and one of the things that I've always been proud of is I will never say anything bad about one of my opponents. I've always believed in a good, clean campaign, and I will never ever run somebody down just because they're running because they want the same job that I've got. Hey, we're all good people. We all want to do a good job, and if the people want me back, I'll be glad to serve them for another 4 years. And if they feel that it's time for a change, I'll be happy with that too, because I think the taxpayers deserve to get what they want as a group. So if as a county they feel that it's time for me to move on, then I'm happy with that too, because I've been there for a while, and I'm proud of this county. I don't know where you can go anywhere in this state and can honestly say that there's a better county in the state of Indiana than Dubois County in the way it's run. We've got money in the bank, and I'm pretty proud of that. And I don't think we'll have to face a bond issue if we have to do something to the jail, because I've been hoarding money, because I've been saving because I know this was coming, and the council and I have put back, $7 million, and we've got several other million that we can work with, and that's good. The bond issue won't have to be there.
I guess really the biggest difference then with you and other candidates is, and you're running at large, so everybody in Dubois County votes for the at large, is you have experience. You've had long time experience.
Yes, and I'm proud of that experience because of the way I do things. I'm not going to try to intimidate anyone. I don't believe in that. I believe in everybody's got their right to say what they want to say, and I'll give them that opportunity at the meetings, and unless something happens where they just completely get out of line, I've only had to use my gavel one time in 12 years, so hopefully I don't have to use it again.
Well, now let's wrap it up with. I'm just going to let you have an opportunity just to say what you'd like to the voters of Dubois County as you run for county council at large.
Well, one thing I think I'd probably, in closing, I would say, please don't confuse Dubois County government with state and federal government, because we're in good financial shape. We should never have to face a bond issue. Our bank accounts have money in them. And I'm not a fan of politicians who make promises and fail to deliver. I will promise you only one thing, that I will represent you and your family with class, and will always be clean, upbeat, and see the glass of Dubois County as half full. I don't believe in the right side or the left side of the aisle. Once elected, we serve all the people of Dubois County as a group, and I refuse to play politics with your money. I won't do that. I never have, and I never will. I've always said that if I wouldn't spend my money on a project, I won't spend the taxpayers' money either. So I ask you for your vote again, and I am very proud of the county, and I'm very proud of the people in this county, because it doesn't get any better in Dubois County.
All right, Greg, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I sure appreciate it.
Our guest has been Greg Kendall. He is running for Dubois County Council at large. Everybody in Dubois County will have the opportunity to vote for that race. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for watching WJTS. We are local people watching local people.